Something I've been struggling with when it comes to how I spend my time when gaming, or just in general with my overall hobbies. It's making sure the session feels like it's time well spent. Nothing feels worse than when you're just trying to decompress from the woes of life, work, and all that stuff, and you end up failing to recharge your battery. This is something that's been in and out of my mind for a while, but recently came to a head when I re-downloaded Black Ops 1 and began playing some games on a private server. While the game is very nostalgic to me, it shaped the way I interacted with games so much in my life. It introduced me to the FPS genre. I entered my first competitive gaming event later with Modern Warfare 3. It stimulated my brain in such a unique way. I remember the joys of running with an SMG or shotgun and trying this hyper-offensive game plan, learning the maps in and out, what routes I should be running. I remember the game used to fill me with so much joy, but that's not really the case for me today. The game I was playing just felt off. I couldn't tell if I was having a good time. I was doing really well, putting up decent stats, playing with those classes I used to run, but the experience in front of me wasn't exciting. It felt more like an empty nostalgia trip. But the nail in the coffin for me was when I stepped away, closed out of the game, and after a few hours, it kinda just felt like nothing happened. I was left feeling nothing. Life can be pretty busy and chaotic. We all have different ways of dealing with it. Something I've been trying to avoid more of is activities that leave me feeling numb like that. Particularly for me, a big one is Twitter. I can spend an endless amount of time scrolling that app, and it feels like crap when I finally close it. I know I could have spent that time on anything else. It could have been better for my brain. I have been a bit obsessed with optimizing just my day-to-day. I have clear goals I want to reach and a certain lifestyle I want, and to have something so numbing as Twitter feels like a giant setback for me. It didn't recharge me. It didn't leave me feeling accomplished. It was just a bunch of nothing time. But this feeling I got from Twitter, it's the same thing I had while playing Black Ops 1. It just flooded my brain with a sea of nothingness. For transparency, it's not like I'm thinking every minute of my life has to be optimized for some sort of cringe Sigma male grind set. I just want to pursue exciting and novel experiences. Typically, my more long-term, goal-oriented things revolve around these. I want to be better at fighting games so I can experience a deep understanding of the genre. I want to play games that make me feel accomplished and I overcome challenges they present to me. Then I want to take these experiences and thoughts and share them in an interesting way in the form of a YouTube video. YouTube in itself presents me with some game-like challenge, where I try to be the most entertaining, while also understanding what the platform likes and will promote. It fulfills me creatively, despite it mostly just being weird video essays or thought pieces on a niche video game experience I had. So I guess this would probably be a good time to share what I've found to be a fulfilling experience to me personally. I can guarantee other people will have differing opinions on what constitutes a fulfilling experience. So definitely discuss that in the comments. Or in my Discord. Shameless plug, I know, but it's linked in the description. Go check it out if that's your thing. There are two styles of gaming I have been gravitating towards lately. If you're familiar with the channel, this one won't be a shock, but I absolutely adore a good fighting game session. There's something amazing about the feedback loop that a fighting game offers. With each loss, you can reflect on it and continue to improve as a player. Then take this ever-growing knowledge and apply it over and over, infinitely. And soon that knowledge base is massive. Looking back on old replays and seeing that clear improvement is insane. Or even better, feeling that improvement in a tournament setting, it's so amazing. Fighting games offer a unparalleled feeling of flow, something I've never experienced before in any other life experience. That might have sounded a little sad, but it is what it is. That feeling when you are up against someone who is pushing you to your absolute mental limit, and the way your fingers hit the buttons to try your hardest to win. It's a surreal experience. Achieving that flow is the thing that pushes me to keep grinding the genre, and I love it. Fighting games are so pure because of that one-on-one nature. It makes the improvement process very introspective, and for that, I'll love this genre forever. But they can be a bit stressful, and maybe at times I'm wanting to game, but I can't find an opponent or just not really feeling the itch to go all out in a video game. A genre I've been calling home recently are dungeon crawlers. In this video, I'll highlight one of my favorite series in this genre, Etrian Odyssey. These games offer a very story-light experience, while allowing you to fully immerse yourself in a carefully crafted dungeon. It gives you the tools to draw your own map within the game to help you navigate the increasingly more complex dungeons, as well as help you plan how you want to avoid the terrifying overworld boss encounters that roam each floor. The hands-off approach with a straightforward objective and deep customizability of your team, for me, this series offers such a fulfilling experience. While it doesn't offer me the same introspective journey of a fighting game, it recharges me when I'm feeling burnt out. Seeing the stairs to the next floor after a string of nail-biter encounters, it never gets old. If I had to explain what this genre and series means to me, I'd say it's a place I can find comfort in. It's a nice form of escapism, but unlike the previously mentioned Call of Duty games, it's fulfilling. I think that might be because it's a genre where you can't autopilot, you can constantly make new discoveries and think of new team compositions, but compared to when I play Black Ops 1, it's mostly just execution checking me while I turn my brain off and run familiar routes. But I think there's an interesting genre that, for me, is a bit in the middle of these two, and that's roguelikes. For this example, I think I'm going to use Binding of Isaac, as it's the most personal to me. There's a nice balance of discovery and self-improvement in Binding of Isaac. As you discover more items and characters, you can grow your knowledge base with each run, but there's also a lot of self-improvement you can find with weaving through attacks and the on-the-fly thinking when it comes to your current build and how it might affect the current encounter. I'm not entirely sure how the general roguelike community will react to this next statement. The people I've talked to about roguelikes seem to be pretty mixed on this. But one thing I do really enjoy about The Binding of Isaac is that with each death, you completely start over. While yes, you can expand your item pool or get access to new characters, but when you die, you start from that first room with nothing. Compared to something like Hades, while that is an amazing game in its own right, I am not a huge fan of unlocking permanent stat upgrades that increase my damage or health. I like knowing I overcame a certain boss, not because I played for a long time, but because I got better at the game. When I was writing the script, a lot of this aligns with what the Soulsborne fans have been shouting, both that I've heard like in person and online. I played through Elden Ring and enjoyed it, but I think it might be overdue to try out those other Souls games. Oh, I guess those are going on the backlog. So hey, you made it this far in a video of my personal struggles I've had with gaming and how I've had to optimize my gaming routine to a weird level. Thank you a bunch. Gaming is a really weird hobby. As it continues to grow and grow, the options just keep getting wider and wider. It can be hard to really enjoy it. But for me, it's a powerful tool to help me recharge, and there's a lot of goals I have within this hobby, like improving my skills in fighting games, growing a community around it, grinding out this YouTube stuff. Maybe I just had to dive a little deeper into my thought process when approaching games and playing stuff. My tastes have shifted with age, and maybe I just didn't quite realize it. So let me know, what sort of attributes do you look for in gaming? Have you had the same feeling I've had where a game just floods you with a sea of nothingness? Or is that just more of a me thing? As always, like and sub, it helps out the channel a ton, and as always, have a great rest of your day.